Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Crypt Choir. I am your host, Dixie Normus, otherwise known as Lewis. And today with me, I have a host, a little buddy of mine, Brian, otherwise known as B-Sphere.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
And today we're going to be talking about primarily Brian's main deck, TIVIT, where it's at in the meta, its meteoric rise, and its slow death question mark.
Yeah,
So
slowly falling.
yeah, so right away I'm gonna pull up, you'll see on the screen, it's gonna be the top deck stats of TIVIT. Currently sitting at number 5. It's got 61 top 16s, 373 entries, a tournament size of 60 or greater, and a 16.35% conversion rate. Brian, why don't you talk about your experience with the deck? Because you've almost been playing it since kind of a lot of the beginning, since we kind of started getting serious with cEDH, right?
Yeah. So I started with Paco, and then like very soon after, Silicon Dynasty 1 happened, and Comedian took it down with TIVIT. I seen the list, made a couple changes, started playing it since then.
So with the Silicon Dynasty, that was, what was that? The second one, right? Third one?
So it was after he won the Silicon Dynasty 1.
No,
And then
Silicon Dynasty 1 was what's it called?
oh, you're right. It was
The
the other
Tim and
aspect, right?
Malcolm.
Oh, okay. So he won the Silicon Dynasty 2, right? Because we oh wait, no, we played in 2. Wait, which tournament did he win that like broke TIVIT out?
Let me double check real quick. Think it was.
I thought it was Silicon Dynasty 1. No, maybe he just made like top 4 or top 16.
He won a tournament with it. I think it was a Mox Masters event, if I remember correctly.
Anyway,
I'll probably
ever
post
since
it
then,
up once I look further into it.
yeah. Ever since then, I've been on the deck ever since. Let's see,
And
then
doing fairly well locally. I'm gonna pull up your stats here up on the screen. You're 28, 24, 16. Overall win rate 41%, and a conversion rate of 64.29.
yeah, I think the deck's insane. I'm not sure why so many people are off it. I know I know Temujin's off it. I haven't seen Ashani play it. Comedian hasn't played it in a while. He's been on Sisse. It's like really there's not many pilots that are still on the deck, and maybe that's partially the reason for its downfall. Not a lot of the best players are still playing it. I also think the meta getting a lot faster is hurting the deck, because if you have two turbo decks at the table, you need the last player to help you out. And there's not a lot of stacks deck to slow the turbo deck down. A lot of times you're getting 3 turbo decks at the table. That's pretty rough for TIVIT. And specifically my list is, I'm like pretty greedy with my list. Maybe I should put in some more stack pieces, like everyone's running the Grafdigger's Cage and the Cursed Totem. That could potentially help me out in these situations.
Right. And I'll like post a little quick view of the deck as we go through it. Yeah, going through it, how different is your deck from the rest of them? I don't believe there's too many different things other than the stacks pieces, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people, let's see. I'm not on the stacks pieces. A lot of people aren't on Notion Thief. I think Notion Thief's insane. People took it out because of Bowmaster, and I always like to tell people, like, Lord of the Rings was a broken set. There was 2 cards that are in a lot of cEDH decks. It's Bowmaster and the One Ring, but every deck has One Ring. Not every deck has Bowmaster.
Right,
So,
and you're not running Bowmaster.
I am also not running Bowmaster. I prefer to just clone the Bowmaster. I'm running tons of Artifact Tutors to get out the Imposter mech to make a Bowmaster that you can't target. At least with another Bowmaster.
And also Gilded Drake if you need to, just like give it to him. There's enough draw triggers, you'll kill the Gilded Drake, or it's never really a problem.
Yeah, Gilded Drake was actually one of the first cards I cut, and I just put it back in, and I'm loving it. I took out Draneth for it, and I think that's one of the better changes I've made in a long time, for sure. like just taking someone's Esper Sentinel, taking like anything, honestly. Because right now, Drannith, if you don't play him turn 1, he's bad. He's like, he'll stop a breach line sometimes.
Taking fucking Kinnan.
Yes, like the literally won me 2 games the last event I was in.
Yeah.
It was kind of nuts. Taking a Kennen on TIVIT, you swing, that's 4 mana minimum.
Or the last event when we were at, what was it, Fire and Dice, where, oh, what the fuck, what just happened here? Fire and Dice, where you had Notion Thief against what, 2-3 blue farms?
Yeah, so I was playing against 3 blue farms. One of them they all had a Crom out. One of them had a Esper Sentinel, another one had a Ledger Shredder, and then the last one, he had, I don't know, some other draw engine. So I was drawing like 6 cards a turn.
Disgusting.
Like
Disgusting.
I won that game like by the time it came back to me.
Pretty heavy-handed.
Yeah. And then like Notion Thief plus the Will just takes the table out.
Yeah,
Let's
classic
see.
old school Opus Thief stuff.
Yeah, let's see. Any other? Not everyone. A lot of people are off Counterbalance. That's a pet card of mine. It's usually one of my first cards to consider cutting out if I'm considering cutting a card, but I just like playing with it so much. I know I said I took out stack pieces. This one's kind of different. It can defend you on your turn as well. And then with all the artifact tutors, if you can get a Sensei's out, it's insane. It's like will almost win you the game.
Yeah, that's definitely a much slower card for sure. Where you spending a turn to spend mana to cast Counterbalance, as opposed to setting up some kind of win con and then having free magic to back it up. You got the permanent Counterbalance sitting there for however long, defending almost everything you do.
Yeah, for sure. And then Urza, that's another one. A lot of people are on what everyone calls it just a win more card, which is kind of true. But I feel like it's okay to have one win more card just to secure the win. Like sometimes, like it can look like you're gonna win, but I don't know. Something like a silence can stop you, and I guess a silence would stop something with Urza, but it would like present me with a lot of value for the next turn or when I pass. Be able to crack all my clues. And
I've seen you take games down because you're getting close to time and you can't do the TIVIT time loop, but you could make a big fat construct and just beat people down.
Yeah, that also happened, I think, at the same event we're talking about. There was only a little bit of time left, and sometimes your construct is 15-15.
Yeah.
So if you don't have enough time to hit people with TIVIT, what is it, 4 times? Then the construct will do it also. It'll help you out. Yeah. And he also makes he gives you one more body to sack. I still have yet to use the spin, but I'm sure it could come up.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you spin Urza. It's really just the extra mana and the construct that it makes.
Yeah,
because your clues, they just like pay for half themselves.
So you tap 2 clues and then you sack one of the ones that you tap. So once he's down, you're almost always just saying clues.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've had games where people don't realize it and they'll still just say clues, and that's just better for me.
Yeah. Or if like you're pretty certain it's coming back to your turn, you can just tap your treasures for mana and then they untap and you can sack them on your turn if needed.
Yeah, for sure. And then I don't know, I feel like that's kind of the only other spicy cards. I'm still on Chain of Vapor. A lot of people aren't on Chain of Vapor because it feels pretty bad if they bounce your TIVIT, but sometimes you just need the bounce for 1 mana.
Yeah. It's too good.
Yeah, I don't know. Why do you think TIVIT is like seeing a decline?
I think just for the reason that you said, that the meta right now is just so fast. I mean, you've seen it, you've experienced it yourself when we went up to NorCal, just how many ROG size there are.
So probably a 3rd ROG size, like not even joking.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's just so fast. Like even me, I'm looking at Blue Farm and seeing like how much more faster can I even make it at 4 colors? Because we have like the slow plans, or like I guess white gives us the protection of like silence, and then the beans to like keep going, and then if like the breach gets a counter or something, Sabines can bring it back, try again. opens up those lines, but like that kind of then slows it down a little bit. And then we don't have, you know, Rockside for free to get like free 4/3 mana. So yeah, I think it's just, I think mainly it's just it's really slow, and a lot of people just don't know how to play TIVIT correctly. They try to keep hands of like turn 1 TIVIT and then like nothing else.
Power
And
Blast.
sometimes, or then gets power blast. But sometimes TIVIT can get you there by himself. But I think a lot of people are just like not just doing the correct play patterns, at least from what I see. And a lot of times, a lot of people are running some really wonky stuff. There's like some TIVIT players down in SoCal, except Scotty, but other TIVIT players I see, and they're running some funky cards. Like there's like, oh, it's like tech choice or maybe local meta, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like there's like meta specific cards you could be running for your specific meta. And then there's you trolling with these picks, and you're definitely trolling. Like, I don't know.
I think that prior to there being so many rock sides, it was okay to keep a hand to just turbo out the TIVIT. But right now, if you turbo out the TIVIT and you got 2 cards in your hand and one of them's not an interaction, you're just going to die to the rock side on the next turn. So like now, more than ever, you have to put down a value piece. I think that's true for like Blue Farm or like anyone right now. The meta's so fast.
Yeah. I mean, you've been doing good with this deck. Do you see yourself making changes? Because I don't think we've made any changes to this deck since Lord of the Rings, with just adding the One Ring, right? Like everything else has been the same for a while now.
Yeah, let's see. What else is other people running? Some people are running the Fallout thing. That card's interesting.
There's a Strict Serenade.
Strict Serenade. I did just add the Gilded Drake, but that was in the first version of the list, so I don't know if I would count that. I don't know. I just like really like where the list is at. I was gonna make a change with the new set. What was I thinking? I was thinking the MDFC land, but then
the new Modern Horizons, like anything for Modern Horizons, like I don't know if any of the flares. I mean, you do have, I guess, like Fairy. Oh, and that's really just Fairy to sack for the blue flare. Really, like I don't think you really want to sack a Urza.
There is a card in this new set I think it's worth talking about for TIVIT, for sure.
Okay, which is it the
little bat?
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that one too, because I've also been looking at that for Blue Farm too. But yeah, we'll talk more about that.
Outside of that, let me look at my changes. Oh my, got my history right here.
Yeah, I don't think you've made much changes to it. About
Scotty
a month
convinced
ago,
me to put in Orchid like 5 months ago.
Yeah, or Orchard is good just because it gives you your colors and you don't care about the 1/1s because TIVIT has flying. Like me and Blue Farm, I see a lot of Blue Farm players running Forbidden Orchard, and I think it's terrible because why would you want to give someone a blocker?
Yep.
Like bad. I get you want to have your colors, but like, you're Blue Farming. You have to attack with Tymna sometimes, and you don't want to give them a blocker. It's just it's dumb to me. I don't know, but some people are playing Forbidden Orchard in Tymna.
And then in my case, I can give someone else a blocker for the Tymna.
Right.
Stop a card draw.
Yeah. And which then you've done to me a few times.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite, especially when it can kill.
Oh yeah, if it can kill the Tymna, someone doesn't see it.
Or if it can kill like the Ragavan.
Oh yep.
That's when it's disgusting. Also, I think top deck. I have seen some TIVIT lists that are cutting like Mystical Tutor, but every top deck tutor in TIVIT is just a tutor to your hand with 2 extra mana because the clues.
Yeah.
So like Mystical Tutor, pay 2 mana, you can put anything in your hand basically.
Yeah, 3 mana, tutor, and instant sorcery to your hand.
Yeah. So I think it's nuts. And 3 mana tutor, I don't know, something that gets time Steve. If it's out, you win the game.
Yeah, Enlightened Tutor is 3 mana, put time Steve in your hand.
I'm also not on what's the 2 mana give things flash?
Oh, Born Upon Wind. Right, you're not on Born Upon Wind.
I feel like, I don't know, this is just not a deck that I think can do it. I don't know. I feel like that's way more of the Turbo S decks like Blue Farm, Roxai. Let's see, does Sisei even run Born Upon a Wind?
Don't know.
Because like if someone puts a win on the stack, it's the only win I could put on the stack is Stasis Oracle. If I put out a time sieve, that's not going to do anything.
Right.
Yeah, I would tap time sieve. Okay, I'm gonna take an extra turn after this one, but I'm not gonna get an extra turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
Sand and Fairy Mastermind too. People don't like him. I think he's great.
yeah, Fairy Mastermind, it's kind of like in my deck, it's like the spot where for Archivist, like you have Archivist and Fairy. I have Archivist instead of Fairy.
Instead of Fairy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of cutting Archivist for Fairy just because I like to have an extra blue card to pitch to one of the forces if needed. Because there's been a few times where I have like Archivist and Force of Will or Force of Negation, and I'm just like, no other blue card. And I'm like, if this was Fairy, I'd be pretty solid here. But
are you on the stack of blue creature counter?
No, I don't have that many creatures. I only have like 13, so
okay.
Like a lot of people are like, I think it only works for Rockside, where they're like, you can pass the trigger on the stack, you can stack it a counter or something, but it's like, okay, that's not really a thing for blue farm. It's just gonna sit there in my hand being dead for like the whole game until I do that, if I go for that line.
Yeah, I think you would like Fairy. I mean, you're not on Notion Thief or Smothering, but you are on Bowmaster.
Yeah.
And it also will kill someone. I mean, so Archivist technically will kill someone with the Thoracle console, but Fairy, if you have the mana, it guarantees does it. Someone has to have a tutor.
Right. I think that's another thing why I don't have Fairy is I don't run Smothering Ties, so having the 4 mana to activate is probably just never gonna happen for me.
Yeah, I guess so. You don't have a lot of extra mana laying around like TIVIT would.
Yeah, and I think that's the main reason why I have Archivist. But just having that, there's been a lot of games where I just don't have like maybe one draw engine or just Tymna out, no like Ristic Study or something else. But if I had a Fairy Mastermind, I'm benefiting off of other people's draw engines. But
I feel like I've seen way less Archivists lately. I feel like that a lot of people are just cutting it in general. And Fairy too. Fairy for sure. I haven't seen him a lot, but also on Archivist.
Yeah, I'm seeing definitely a lot of people are not on Archivist. I think it's really just these very few decks are on Archivist.
Because a lot of people are doing their fetch lands just right away. And if you don't get them out immediately, kind of a little too late.
Yeah, I think I had Archivist for there's like a weird small amount of period in time where I was doing a lot of chaos events and Archivist was doing phenomenal for me just because there was a lot of like Rocco decks, because Rocco was just hot. There was like Sisei was coming out and it was really hot, and a lot of people were playing that, so there was just a lot of green or a lot of decks that just were doing a lot of tutoring, and that drew me like a lot. Like it was great. Like it makes it a little harder because I was in a game where there was a Rocco player and he's tutoring and I had an Archivist out, and he needs to like do math, find a way to get out Skyclave or some other way to kill the Archivist before they go for like tutoring out the rest of their stuff. Otherwise I could potentially draw a Force of Will or something to stop them. So it helps, but honestly it's been a few games where that's happened and then they just like, oh yeah, I'll tutor 3 times and then kill get Skyclave, kill it. Did you find it? It's like, no. Okay, so it hasn't stopped me there, but it has drawn me a lot of cards.
Yeah,
but
okay, well,
recently no.
One more card I actually wanted to ask you about, now that we're just talking about cards. What do you think about Offer? Because I know you finally got punished by it for your first time. That is still not happened to me yet. But a lot of people are cutting it just because the 2 extra land.
Offer, it was just that one time where, for those who don't know, there was a previous report video I did where I offered someone's, I think it was a fish from a McKinnon, and I had win in hand, but it was gonna require me to cast like 4 cards before I like show some kind of win. So it was like a long string of like different tutors, rituals to get there. And he was casting a fish, and I'm like, okay, I only have one other backup, so I'd rather just offer this fish and save the other one. I think the other one was a Pact of Negation, I believe. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to offer this fish. I know it's Kinnan. He has Kinnan out, but I think it's fine just because I don't want him to have the draw engine. So I show the offer, counter it, makes 2 treasures, and he's like, okay, crack the 2 treasures, land. I'll cast out Perplexing Chimera. And that just stopped me right there, dead in my tracks, and just made the game from, oh, this is going to be a quick 5-minute game. Like, I have just the nuts. I have everything to just, okay, this game I think went to time, and we like ID'd. It was just from a fucking Perplexing Chimera. So that's the only time it is off. It has punished me, but I think offer is kind of like Pact of Negation, where that's the first counter you show, just to get them to counter it. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I still haven't got punished by it yet, but it does sound terrible countering a Kennan's, because that's just 4 mana for them. Yeah,
I think that experience showed me to, if possible, don't use an offer on a Kinnan. Like, use it for somebody else.
If you can.
Yeah, if you can, and use some other counterspell for them.
Unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, it's the same way with like your Dovin, where like someone's showing like an Ananas, you just show the Dovin. Like, you're not showing them the other counterspell.
You just do that one right away.
Yeah. Like, whatever spell someone is doing, you just Dovins that and be like, no, stop it. Like, you're not, don't do it.
Dovins is hot. You don't run Dovins on.
No, it's just 2 color intensive.
2 mana too much. Yeah, 2 mana too much.
Yeah, just because I'm 4 colors. I know in my Timna Malcolm deck, it is in there just because, you know, it's the same colors of Esper. But yeah, no, definitely don't think I could run it in blue farm. I guarantee I'll run it. Maybe use it once, it'll be cool. But other times it'll just sit there like, I can't do it. Or if I use Dovin's Veto, I'll be like fucked for mana for my other interaction.
Yeah.
So I would love to run it, but nah.
It makes sense on TIVIT because you cast TIVIT, you get 2 treasures, you have 2 mana out.
Yeah.
So the 2 mana spells are just so good.
Same thing with your mana drain, just like mana drain of Ristic Study, whatever, and like, cool, my TIVIT's half cost.
It's free. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's kind of enough with our quick little analysis of TIVIT, talking about the deck and stuff. I think we should go into the Bloom Burrow spoilers.
Yeah, let's see.
So the first card I want to talk about is Valley Floodcaller. Hopefully I have remembered to put it up for everyone to look at it. So Valley Floodcaller is 2 colorless, 1 blue, 2/2 creature otter wizard, flash. It has, you may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, birds, frogs, otters, and rats you control gain +1/+1 until end of turn, untap them. So kind of like prowess for birds, frogs, and otters, and then you can untap them.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
So right away looking at it, I feel like it's a little bit better than the other 3 mana card you were showing me that gives flash at the end step.
Yeah, Final Word Phantom, same cost. It's a 1/4 creature, Spirit Detective, flash flying. During each opponent's end step, you may cast spells as though they had flash.
I feel like it's better than that one, and people, when that card came out, it was seeing some play.
Yeah.
If people want like a lot of flash in their deck, I think it's definitely worth the slot. But outside of that, it doesn't let you cast Dockside on someone else's turn, so that's kind of rough.
Yeah, that is the only downside of it. Sure. This one being better, if we saw some amount of gameplay from the Final Word Phantom, we might see a little bit more from this one. I'm wondering if there's some kind of blue-green deck that kind of like, you know how Magda plays Maskwood Nexus to make everything fucking dwarves? Something like with Valley Floodcaller, like a Maskwood Nexus to make all your stuff birds, frogs, and otters. So then every time you cast stuff, they untap them, and you basically have like that one card that got banned where it untaps everything every time you're casting non-creature spell. I don't know if that might be some weird janky thing that you can put together, some weird engine there. But that might be too many pieces because you're gonna need this, you're gonna need the Maskwood Nexus, and then I don't know what kind of outlet or whatever to give you the value. That is something interesting because I did not read the last part where it says untap them. I just thought it just gave them +1/+1. I was like, that's for casual. But the fact that it untaps them could be significant, I think.
Is Bob a bird?
It is a bird.
It is a bird. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, being able to just untap that and keep tapping into play.
Yeah.
Like,
So
or if any, actually, if any of the untappers in what's the new Nadu, or one of
right,
those types, that could be crazy.
right. Yeah, with Nadu,
I don't know if there
he
is. I don't know if there
I
is, but
think
if there is,
Nadu is a bird. I think it's a bird wizard. So if I had Nadu has something on it, some enchantment, whatever, that would like can tap it to add mana, you could possibly just make a bunch of mana. It's not like you need it because Nadu already gives you free fucking mana because the card is busted and pushed. But this just
yeah,
makes it more crazier. Maybe some other stuff on it that like has to draw a card or something. I don't know if there's any enchantment like that. And then you just keep storming through your deck even better. And maybe don't need some of the equipment, or maybe you put it anyways. But yeah, I feel like this might see some stuff. Just with non-creature spells can be cast at flash speed is big enough already, and it's got 2 toughness, so it doesn't die right away to Bowmaster.
yeah, it doesn't get hit by Bowmaster when it
Yeah.
would, whenever because okay, so he pumps himself too, so it's not gonna die to Bowmaster.
Oh yeah. So good luck. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if the second part's ever gonna be worth anything, but just the non-creature spells have flash, I think might see some play, maybe in like Urza or some other low blue decks.
Oh
Um,
yeah, actually, this guy's pretty cool in Urza.
yeah, yeah.
They're talking about just flashing a stacks piece,
Mm-hmm.
like the what Mono White was trying to do.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yep.
that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah. Whatever mono white has, mono blue will have it, but better.
See if our Urza friend puts it in.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll
What he
talk to him
thinks
about
about
it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. So this one is a new Naya commander. We keep getting a lot of Naya commanders that do something cool, but it's just not.
Slightly not good enough.
It's just not good enough or not there.
Yep.
So this is Balin the Haymaker, Naya colors, legendary creature, rabbit warrior. Warrior, I don't know if that's gonna mean a thing for Najila, but it's a 4/3 and it has a lot of 3 abilities. First one, tap 2 untapped tokens you control, add 1 mana of any color. Tap 3 untapped tokens you control, draw a card. Tap 4 untapped tokens you control, put 3+1 counters on Balin against trample till end of turn. What do you think?
So right away looking at it, kind of rough that you have to. Oh, I guess tap tokens, but it doesn't say creature tokens. So
They just have to be tokens.
yeah, so you could tap like dockside tokens to start drawing cards, or tap your treasures to start adding mana, and you won't lose them. You'll have them for the next turn.
Yep.
That's actually pretty cool. I think outside of dockside, this card a lot of times is going to do nothing, but with dockside, I mean, I guess you wouldn't really use the last ability. You're never going to get in for combat damage. It's not like Jetmir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Jetmir. You're not going to get in for combat damage, but you'd be able to use your treasures, like your extra treasures, to draw cards or add mana.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty hot.
I do remember there being a Samwise infinite food combo, but I'm pretty sure it was like 3 or 4 pieces. This would be an outlet for it. So if you do assemble a combo, you just cast your commander, tap all those food tokens you make, draw your deck, and show whatever kind of win, and also make mana. So this might be a good outlet for that. If there's some way to, if there's a clean way to make a bunch of infinite tokens, regardless of whatever tokens they are, they don't have to, like, it doesn't matter if they're creature tokens and if they're summoning stick, because this ability tapped them to do it. So I don't know if there's any clean, fast, infinite token makers that you can then have cast Balin to like be the outlet for that.
There's got to be a Hulk line that just gives you infinite tokens.
Right. Hulk line for that too. Oh yeah, Hulk. This would be like a Hulk deck. You're just slowly slowing down the board just to get those random pieces, and then just you just pop off, make a bunch of tokens, and then Balin, draw your deck, show whatever kind of win, dual caster win, some weird breach win maybe. Like I think this could be something. The fact that it's a warrior, I don't know if that's good enough for Najila, but like there's a lot of times where you make a lot of your little nerds go to your next turn. You could like tap those nerds to like draw cards or make mana, but I don't think this is better than other cards that have come out like Samut and Kutsil. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna see play in Najila, but I think this deck on its own could be something. depending on what else comes out on the set, and if anyone finds other, like I said, other clean combos to make, 'cause it doesn't matter what tokens you make, it just has to be tokens, and then it's just an outlet for this card. So
If there was a way to make like a mass amount of tokens with a low amount of mana, like Dockside, but
right,
it could do something.
yeah. So that's just Balin. That's an interesting card. Like I said, more Naya commanders coming out that are like pretty good, but just not good enough.
Boiling, I don't know.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one we have is For the Common Good. It is a sorcery, XX green. Create X tokens that are copies of target token you control. Then tokens you control gain indestructible until your next turn. You gain 1 life for each token you control. This is mainly to, I think, you can double up on tokens if you have, it has to be like red green. This is mainly for Atali, where you can make copies of Atali, and then you just do like for one, was it 2, 3, 4, 5? For 5 mana, you get 2 Atalis. And there's a lot of times where you can make a lot of just fucking random red mana that you can make like, yeah, just 2 more Atalis. Even if this is just for 3 mana, you make another copy of your token Atali. Normally people, when they make tokens of Atali, they keep the original, let the token die. So I don't know if this might change anything, but this is really what I brought it up for.
Yeah, if you add this to your deck, you would definitely just sack the original.
Yeah.
And leave the tokens around.
Mm-hmm.
Or is there any token makers in Atali that let them stay there to your next turn, or do they all kill them?
I think they all die. Yeah, because it's like.
Oh, okay. So you'd have to do it the same turn.
Yeah.
To be fair though, it is a pretty bad flip with Atali.
Sure.
Like if you cast Atali and then flip it, you're not gonna get anything out of it. Let's see. Yeah, maybe in Atali, if it did see play anywhere, I would say there.
Yeah, maybe if in the Balin deck might want to run this potentially if you're trying to make a bunch of tokens to like go for a win. So also for Balin, this might see something with Balin. I don't know what. I haven't seen anything pop up on Twitter or anybody talking about the card yet. And I know it just came out like fairly recently, so I'm pretty sure it's just too soon for people to be talking about it. But this, I think this would probably be a Balin card. I can't think off the top of my head any other decks that are green that care about this. Like Sisei, I don't think they care about making copies of tokens, because maybe I guess with Najila, but this seems like a bad card. Like, what are you cutting for Najila to make more tokens, more of your warriors?
If it was blue, then I don't know. I mean, Kark, they make a lot of copies of Kark with tokens.
I guess Nadu to make, if you have like Scoot Swarm tokens, to make more copies of the tokens to continue going. But I feel like if you have Scoot Swarm, you're flipping the lands and you're triggering it anyway, that I don't think you need this.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know, maybe some other cards might come out that this becomes busted, or some other decks or lines show up that this is a thing. But yeah, really it's just, I have a Tali in mind for it, and then potentially Balin that we just talked about.
Maybe we'll be surprised.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, let's go on to Gossip's Talents. We have a new class. So classes are coming back, which is pretty cool. I was a pretty big fan of them. I like them. It's kind of weird, like the names of them, because like, you know, they're like, hey, what class are you? Gossip's Talent. It's like, okay. So it's a little like flavor wise, it's a little weird when they're not like warrior, wizard, or, you know, wizard class or something. But Gossip's Talent first level is whenever a creature you control enters, surveil 1. Level 2 is colorless and a blue. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn. Level 3 is 3 colorless, 1 blue. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may exile it, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. What do you think?
So looking at it right away, I was thinking about Timna. I've never seen this card yet.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about I was thinking of the creatures that Timna Malcolm has. What creatures could benefit off the blink? The not being the second part where one of your creatures can't be blocked is nice. It'll guarantee you a Timna draw for sure every turn. But let me see their deck list. Do they have any creatures that care about the blink?
Here, I'll show you mine, and I don't think so. Other than Ranger Captain, no.
Like Ranger Captain,
yeah,
Bowmaster, but That's
try
one damage.
Bowmaster, but yeah, that's not really. Yeah, it's not really. I don't care about it really, and it's like once per turn. You could blink like your Metamorph. Um, yeah, I guess Lotho to like reset him.
It doesn't say you have to blink a creature with power 3 or less, so I could blink TIVIT.
Yeah,
That'd
but
be pretty funny.
that's
It
2,
is a lot
3,
of mana.
4, 7, 8 mana. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. So the only thing I have it on here for is the first text. Whenever a creature you control enters, surveil 1. So you could do, I don't know if there's some blue deck, again, like Urza, you can maybe do some infinite blinks with Urza to just mill your library out and do some kind of graveyard stuff. Or like, just Dazzle win. But yeah, that's my only thing I have it on here is just whenever creature control enters, surveil 1. And there could be some low blue decks that maybe could take advantage of it a lot. But I'm not too sure how well this is or if this is a good enough effect.
Well, if it was whenever a creature enters, you may surveil 1.
That would be busted.
You'd be able to just mill your deck and then cast like a Yogg's Will or something. That'd be pretty cool. Outside of that, it just looks a little mana intensive.
Yeah. It's just really that first ability, just having that on a card could be something, maybe some kind of Grixis Shell, I don't know, that you want to like, have some way to blink, or you're doing a lot of creature stuff where you can surveil 1, mill yourself. Yeah, that's the only thing I have it on there for. Maybe it's not good enough just because there's things like, grinding station. So I don't, this might not be good enough, but I think that's an interesting effect to have on a card for some future combos.
Worth talking about.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, let's move on. Next up, we have Vine Reap Mentor. It is 1 black, 1 green, creature, squirrel druid, 3/2. When it enters or dies, create a food token. Now, this is again similar to, I think there was some that I was talking about earlier, some Samwise Frodo food deck where you can make a bunch of infinite foods. And I think this is a piece that they can replace another card with because it makes a food when it dies or enters. So I think this is going to help out with that. I'm not too familiar with it. I didn't look too much into it, which honestly I should have for this card, but I think it's interesting to have this effect on a card because then it might open up some more infinite food lines.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. I have no clue. If it did, I think it's going to clean up one of their Hulk lines that they already have.
Right.
Outside of that, but does Hulk goes based off power or is it CMC? It's CMC, right?
Let me see. Protean. Hulk is when it dies, search your library for any number of creature cards with total mana value 6 or less.
Okay, so that's better.
Yeah, so this might, yeah, like you said, this might just clean up a combo that they are already doing potentially.
One of lines. Outside of that, probably nothing.
Yeah. I can't see, like, nobody plays Get Rock Monster, so I don't know if this would be anything that brings it back or makes it stronger or more resilient. 'Cause I don't think they do any food combos, so I think it is just for like Samwise Frodo deck that makes infinite foods, and maybe some other random decks that this might be a thing. But yeah, that's Vine Reap Mentor, and we'll just move on to the next one.
Cool.
This one I think might see play for Keurig and some low black color decks. So this is
immediately what I was thinking too,
yeah. Darkstar Augur, 2 colorless, 1 black, creature, Bat Warlock, flying, 2/3, and it has a new mechanic called Offspring. For 1 black mana, you may pay an additional black mana as you cast a spell. If you do, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. And the ability is, at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. So it's a Bob that can fly with slightly better stats. And some more, costs a little bit more mana.
So if you have blue, Talion's better for 4 mana. But if you're not on blue and you're in low, like you were saying, low black colors, I think this is pretty good. It'll let you draw 2 cards a turn, or especially decks that are already running. What's the one that makes you 2 mana, makes you lose life on your upkeep?
Yeah, Bob. That's another.
Oh, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Confidant.
Dark Confidant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're already running him, you could like run both or switch him out for this. Potentially get 2.
Right. I don't
think that's pretty
know.
nice.
Yeah, depending on the deck. I don't know if Keurig already runs Bob. But this is great. I don't think you can Spirit will let you use 2 life to pay for the offspring.
That's what I was wondering
I
too.
think it's just for the mana value. I don't think you could do it for the offspring, unfortunately. But
If there was a like black white cEDH deck, they'd probably want to use this too.
yeah, I think the only Orzhov decks is Illicel Core, and then like that Ratadraga one that I honestly think is a worse version of Illicel Core. But yeah, this could possibly be something good for Orzhov, maybe Rakdos.
Golgari, I don't think Golgari has too many draw options.
I don't even know what commanders are Golgari that are being played. I don't think there are any Golgari options other than Gitrog.
You know, I played a Gitrog like 7 months ago.
It's crazy. I don't think I've seen a Gitrog since like the first Silicon Dynasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is interesting. I don't know. I don't think any of the top tier decks are gonna play it. I think. Yeah, I don't even think. I think this is still too slow for Roxai. Like, I think they want to spend their life on the Adnaz, not on this card or whatever it's flipped. And they're just like full fucking send it. So I don't think this is gonna cut it for Roxai. Same thing with Blue Farm. I don't think this is good enough because it's 3 mana. Yeah. And I would rather be casting Tymna than this.
Or if you have blue at all, just Talion for 4 mana.
Yeah, I know some Blue Farm decks run Talion. Yeah, like just the 1 extra, you're just playing Talion instead. But it is interesting just for the low black decks. So wanted to talk about it. New Bob, you know, a little bit. I think it's a better version of Bob. But yeah, let's move on next to another card that I think is pretty cool and we might see some play. The infamous Cruel Claw. 1 colorless, Rakdos, legendary creature, Weasel Mercenary, 3/3, has Menache. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Atali is super strong. This is half the mana. It lets you do it on every turn. Discarding a card is kind of a downside with those colors specifically because you don't have a lot of ways to just have cards in your hand. Usually those colors are dumping all their cards out. Maybe you can play a slower build with this guy and hold more cards in your hand, cast more of their stuff, get more value. I don't know.
So I think you're reading it wrong. It only triggers when it deals combat damage, and it's only your library.
Exo. Oh yeah, you're right. So I was thinking it was in other people. I was like, ooh, that's.
They would be sick if it was other players, I think. But no, I don't think this is good enough to be a commander. But I do think this could be seen play in the 99 of like Obnixilis or some other Rakdos deck. I think this is probably better in the 99 as a value piece.
Yeah, I mean, every turn it's gonna get you a card. This sounds like really pretty good in Ob.
Right.
Every turn it's gonna get you a free card. They don't run too many counter spells, so you're not gonna hit a lot of dead spells. They run a lot of like just permanents and stuff that are gonna advance their board state. So I think this is pretty solid for Obnixilis. And maybe especially actually this sounds nuts in what's the other Rakdos? Florian?
Florian, there's also Rakdos the Muscle.
Oh yeah, Rakdos the Muscle Stern. This sounds good in all those, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Florian will play like very expensive spells and you could just discard a land to cast it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This seems interesting. I don't know if any other higher colored decks care about this, like Grixis. I don't think any of the Grixis decks want this. Usually it's just Roxai, I don't think.
Not if you're on blue, because then you have counter spells, you don't want to hit those.
Yeah, so it has to be non-blue Rakdos Plus decks that I think want to see this. Maybe Mardu, like Jessica Tymna.
Yeah, Mardu might want something like this too.
Mm-hmm. This could be something maybe in that deck. Yeah, I just think it's a pretty decent, pretty good value piece.
This makes your top deck tutors insane.
Yes, it does turn on your top deck tutors where you just, whatever top deck tutor, swing at someone, flip it, it's whatever it is you cast. So this could set up like a pretty nasty Adnos.
Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty good with it.
Yeah. Damn, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about that, maybe I do want to find room for this in fucking Blue Farm.
Try it out.
Yeah, that's pretty, that sounds pretty cool. And it's also just Menace. So just being able to like get another free attacker for Tymna. But the thing is too, it's 3 mana. That's the thing where I'm like, for 3 mana, I want to be casting Tymna. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good enough. Maybe I'll think about it. I'm sure some people might run it in Tymna. We'll see. Like Tymna Crom. But like I said, pretty good value piece. But yeah. So that's that card. Next one that I think for sure might be a blue form card. We have Zoraline Cosmos Collar. Colorless Orzhov, legendary creature, bat cleric, 3/3, flying vigilance. Whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain 1 life. And whenever it attacks, or whenever Zoraline enters or attacks, you may pay Orzhov and 2 life. When you do, return target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less from your grave to the battlefield with a finality counter on it.
Okay, at least it gives it the finality counter.
Right, so it's not continuous infinite loops, whatever, whatever. That's that's just the modern card design now of making things just not busted. But then they print fucking Nadu for whatever reason. What do you think about this for TIVIT and resetting time save?
So I was thinking about it in replacing Savines because creatures are harder to deal with. But it is 5 mana to do it on the same turn. And the finality counter could be rough. Savines will for sure get it back twice. I think it's worth considering. I don't know. It'll get back heuristic if it gets early pyroblast. It'll get back almost any permanent except like One Ring and Smothering Tithe.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty nice. I think the nastiest use for it though is definitely going to be getting to put your breach lines in uncounterable. Your breach.
Yes, because there's a lot of times where like Lothar will die getting pinged, or your Bowmaster will die getting pinged, your Fimage, Esper Sentinel, Ragavan. If there's like a Grand Abolisher that got wheeled or like died or something, or for some reason ended up in the grave, like this for Blue Farm, this hits like so much stuff. It could bring back an LED to start like a breach line if you just need the LED or not enough stuff in your graveyard to like get it out first for some reason. Lotus Petal, Necropotence, if it got countered, like this can set up not just breach, but it can set up a lot of cards. So I think I will test this card out, and if I do test this card out, I will be putting in Smothering Tithe.
Do you think this is better than what's the other he's same colors and he lets you cast one thing once per turn?
Luris.
Do you think this is better than Luris?
Ooh.
Well, Luris, you have to cast it though. This just puts it on the battlefield.
Yeah. So
this makes a 3 mana, 2 mana.
Okay. So let's think about it in regards to Breach. So Luris, 3 mana, 2 mana, cast Breach, 5 mana total. Zoraline, 3 mana, 2 mana, it's 5 mana also.
Yeah. But it's counterable with Luris. It is not counterable with
Zoraline.
Zoraline, yeah.
Right. Wow.
I don't know. Is it each of your turns during?
It is easier to cast Luris because it has a hybrid Orzhov mana.
Zoraline's probably better.
I think Zoraline might be better. The stats are better. Flying Vigilance 3/3 opposed to just 3/2.
Oh, and it's 2 or less for Luris, right?
Yeah, Luris is 2 or less, and this is 3 or less.
So Zoraline's definitely better.
Yes, I think Zoraline might be better than Luris.
Kind of disgusting. I'm gonna be kind of annoyed.
Yeah,
against that card for sure.
I definitely think I'm gonna try this out. I gotta find out what to take out for it, and then what to. I mean, I guess I could. No, I don't want to swap out Savines for this because, what's it called? The blue tutor can find Savines if I need it. I've never done it. I've never needed to. I usually get Savines with like intuition. but I know that line is there for it. So maybe we just don't care, and I take out Savines and slot in Zoraline to test it out.
Oh my gosh. You play Zoraline, next turn you cast Breach, they counter Breach, you attack with Zoraline, put Breach on battlefield. That's disgusting.
Yeah, like they have to use a forceful negation to like exile the fucking
Or Mind Break Trap.
or might be like, yeah,
oh my
that's the only
gosh.
way. Like you need to have those two spells. Otherwise, like, okay, countered. I'll just do it next turn. I mean, everyone will be pet free and probably won't do anything and just wait till it gets back to your turn to do it. But like, yeah, like this is just gonna attack, trigger, pay 2, boop, just onto the battlefield. Like they're not gonna be able to really stop it. Like they would have to find a way to kill Zoraline or have some kind of blocker.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure,
I think
couple decks, I guess, yeah.
I think this is gonna see some play. I don't know if it's gonna see play outside of Blue Farm. You're thinking about swapping out Savines also for this, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely considering Savine's swap for this. It's kind of hard to interact with, like especially if you pass turn. It's just the finality counter is kind of annoying because sometimes I have to sack my own time sieve and then get it back with the Savines I already have. This will let me do it one time for cheaper than 5 mana with Savines from Flashback. But I don't know. I think it's definitely worth testing and replace the Savines.
Yeah. I think definitely worth testing. I think. Okay, so that's it. And now I want to talk about the final card. This is called Take Out the Trash. 1 colorless red, instant. It deals 3 damage to target creature planeswalker. If you control a raccoon, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So this is you're looking at this and you're thinking, this is a fucking shit card. Not even a lightning strike, because it only hits creatures or planeswalkers.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Terrible. So
the only reason I have this card is because this is a new consultation name.
Oh.
So now you can just pass a consultation name, take out the trash, and win. So before we had You Are Already Dead, perfect name. Then we had Holy Cow, and now we have a new one, Take Out the Trash.
Oh my gosh. What was your go-to name for consultation?
So depending on the pod, whichever one I thought would tilt them, it was You Are Already Dead or the one you do, Sloppity Bile Piper.
Sloppity Bile Piper? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think it's whenever it's with you, I say Sloppity Bile Piper, and then if it's other like Rupon, I think I always say You Are Already Dead. It just depends on the pod and which one I think would be more tilting for them to hear.
Definitely the new one to say. If I'm trying to be sneaky, I like to say a card that might be in my deck.
Oh yeah, like what do you name?
Or Bowmaster, and I don't run Bowmaster. But Take Out the Trash, I'm gonna have to say that one for sure.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. It's a good one. But yeah, that's the only reason why I talk about it. So that's all the spoilers from Bloomborough that I wanted to talk about. And then obviously us going over TIVIT. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? I know. When's are you excited for the next tournament?
Oh yep, Fishbowl, ready to take it down.
Oh yeah, Fishbowl 4, right?
Sadly, I missed Fishbowl 3, but yeah, I'm ready for Fishbowl 4.
Hey, bro. I don't know. I got super unlucky that day. Like, it was just not my day.
Fishbowls don't like you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been the past 2 that have been not having a good time. I don't know. Just things aren't like panning out. But no, yeah, let me see. I believe it's Fishbowl 4. There's been already so many. Yeah, Fishbowl 4. Obviously playing TIVIT. What are you not looking forward to playing up against, since you kind of take little small hiatuses from playing because of work? So
Nadu.
Okay, yeah, you haven't had the. Have you had the? I don't think you've had the pleasure of playing against Nadu, right?
I've played it. I still haven't lost to it yet, but I think it does pretty well. It could do pretty well against TIVIT. It's like kind of annoying to interact with. You have to have the swords. It's fast too, so it's almost like a turbo deck. And like I was saying earlier, TIVIT kind of struggles with turbo decks. And I mean Nadu, and there's gonna be Nadus and rock size, so that's kind of annoying. I mean, like, what is there even a good stacks piece to stop a Nadu?
No, I think the only thing there is, because it's not drawing the cards, it's putting them into their hand. So it's not like mono white with the like
Yeah.
Spirit of the Labyrinth to stop draws. Like it just like or Bowmaster, like it just puts it into the hand. It's that fucking stupid busted.
Does
But
not
I
care
think
about Notion Thief.
you might yeah, it doesn't trigger with Notion Thief. I think you might have a slightly easier time because you
Yeah.
have Deluge and Dam.
Yeah, definitely. TIVIT's pretty good against creature-based decks. I think it's really good against like Sisay. Like out of the top decks, I think it does good against Sisay and Kennen really well.
Yeah.
But I mean, lately we've been seeing a ton of rock size. That's kind of rough.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
the last event that I topped, or I went to top 10, I didn't see, what was it? No, I think it was Carter. I don't think I saw any rock size up until the final pod. I think in seat 1 or first round, I saw rock size, and we were all like, me, Rupon, and Anthony, we were all buddies. So we were just like, let's ID. And obviously the rock side didn't want to do it since they were first. So we just fucking bodied them and then ID'd.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got lucky and didn't see any rock size until the final pod. But yeah, it's there's a lot of rock size right now.
If there's one rock size in my pod, I need a hand that can get a value piece out. I don't care about a turn 1 TIVIT. I have to be able to get like a fish out early.
Fish.
It's really hard for them to win through that.
Yeah.
Ristic.
Or I wouldn't say it's hard for them. I think they're gonna send it anyways. And a lot of
Well, it'll let you win. Yeah, I guess.
yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of bad rockside players, so they'll just send it
Yeah.
anyways through a fish, and you just you'll stop them, and then you'll have a full grip by the time it gets to your turn.
So definitely get the fish out. Focus on TIVIT second, unless there's not a rockside player there. And then if
Yeah.
I see a Nadu, don't be greedy with my removal for sure. I will just send my swords at the Nadu.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring it up during the deck tech for you. Do you think you might put delay for Strict Serenade?
Ooh. I'm gonna say no because when I cast TIVIT, he gives me 2 mana and it lets me delay, or it lets me delay anything. And
Mhm.
being able to delay the Nadu is nice. But Strict Serenade, it doesn't do anything on my turn.
Right.
So
But it is 1 mana cheaper, so you can hold up delay and like some other 1
Yeah.
mana counter. It's like
I know you were on Strix. Have you been able to use it at all?
I was in the last tournament I was just at this weekend. I had the Strict Serenade in hand, but I didn't have the blue for it.
Okay.
And it could have been good. Like it would have been good. I was just there was a fucking stony silence that was locking down my artifacts. So I didn't have a lot of color sources, but I did have it. And it could have helped me out in like getting rid of some stack pieces, but I just couldn't cast it. So there were times where I did have it in my hand and it could have been good, but I just didn't have the mana to do it. So,
I have
yeah.
yet to get my TIVIT Strix Serenade, and that's gonna be sad when that happens.
I am excited and looking forward to the day when I do that to you. I cannot wait for you to just turn 1, J-Lo, pedal, some other random rocks
Ooh.
like, ooh, Tivin, like Strict Serenade.
Usually, I look straight at the red player when I cast TIVIT, and now it's anyone's game to counter.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of players there's a lot of people that aren't being responsibles and they're not running Strict Serenade just because like, it doesn't protect their win or counter battle. But like countering a Dockside and a Grand Abolisher is like, or Nadu now, it's like I think it's just you have to run it. Or at least I think so.
Considerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to be it for today. Brian, it was great having you on. Hopefully we'll see some more of you in the future, in future pods. And I'm looking forward to Fishbowl this coming up weekend.
We're
Excited?
gonna take it down. Top 4, me and you.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, God, dude. I'm going to have to, like, do some fucking, like, wounded satellite level yapping and bullying to get myself there because I'm tired of getting disbodied in the past 2 Fishbowls, dude. Like, I'm getting top 4 or I'm getting banned for the year, okay? Like, that's what's happening, all right? I'm not going to get fucked again, all right?
That's
Damn.
great.
Okay.
When I come to your table, I better see you talking.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm going to be yapping. For sure. Definitely.
All right. Thanks for
Okay.
having me on.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode. I hope to see you guys over at Fishbowl if you are. And if you will be there, good luck, unless you're in the same pod with me. Eat shit. And yeah, like the video if you guys enjoyed this conversation. Subscribe if you want to see more. Follow us on our socials. Here I got my handle that you'll find me just about anywhere at Dixinormus. Brian, do you have Twitter on as Bsphere? I don't even know if
Bsphere GG.
Bsphere GG, yeah. You can find Bsphere and flame him for his TIVIT deck list. And yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Good night.